as Ambling Soul said, want to get into the lawsuits?
Yeah.
We're going to get into our first lawsuit here, and unfortunately, it's going to taint one of the teams that we enjoy and one of the coaches that we enjoy a little bit. But Dearica Hamby had filed federal lawsuit against the Las Vegas Aces. Hamby is accusing the league and her former team of discrimination and retaliation against her while she was pregnant, culminating in her trade to the Los Angeles Sparks in January 2023. Hamby's lawyer alleges that being traded caused Hamby harm, including lost promotional and or endorsement opportunities, relocation to a more unfavorable tax environment, and the denial of a chance to participate for a back-to-back WNBA championship. The WNBA launched a formal investigation into Hamby's discrimination claims in early 2023 and concluded that the Aces had violated league rules regarding impermissible player benefits. It consequently rescinded the Aces 2025 first round draft pick and also suspended Becky Hammon for 2 games without pay for violating league and team respect in the workplace policies. Hamby filed a discrimination claim against the WNBA and the Aces with the Equal Employment Opportunity Commission in the fall of 2023, and the federal agency ruled in May 2024 that she has the right to sue. According to the lawsuit, Hamby signed a 2-year contract extension with the team in the spring of 2022, which would have carried her throughout the 2024 playing season. To seal the deal, the lawsuit says the team offered Hamby additional benefits and inducements, like an agreement to cover private school tuition costs for her daughter and allow her to occupy team-provided housing. Less than a month after Hamby signed the contract extension, she discovered she was pregnant again. She told Hammond and the other Aces staff during the summer and publicly announced her pregnancy at the championship victory parade that fall. Hamby's lawyers say that once her pregnancy was public, she experienced notable changes in the way she was treated by Las Vegas Aces staff. She couldn't get a clear answer on when her daughter's tuition would be paid and was informed that she had to vacate team-provided housing according to the lawsuit. The lawsuit also recounts a January 2023 phone call between Hammond and Hamby, in which the coach allegedly questioned her commitment to the team, falsely accused her of signing her contract extension while pregnant, and suggested she wasn't taking her off-season workouts seriously. The lawsuit says Hamby, then 7 months pregnant, was working out regularly as permitted by her medical doctors. Hamby's lawyers say she twice asked, "You're trading me because I'm pregnant." Hammond allegedly responded, "What do you want me to do?" According to the lawsuit, Hammond told Hamby the next day that her time with the Aces is up and that she could pick a place like Los Angeles or Atlanta. Within a week, the team publicly announced that Hamby had been traded to the Los Angeles Sparks. The lawsuit alleges that the Aces engaged in a number of retaliatory acts against Hamby after she went public with her complaints. Some of the examples listed including telling players and staff to cease communication with Hamby, attempting to wrongfully obtain Hamby's confidential medical records after trading her, refusing to extend her an invitation to attend the White House ceremony celebrating their first championship win, and directing video personnel at a 2023 playoff game not to show Hamby's daughter on the screen despite the fact that she was a fan favorite. Now, after all that, Josh, your thoughts?
Weird coming from Becky Hammond. I expected more from her. Really.
Yeah.
That being said, I mean, it is a business at the end of the day. So bad, especially when trades and stuff like that. This is part of the business. This is the dark side of the business.
Mm-hmm.
I don't expect. I don't sit there and tell her like you shouldn't have sued because I see where the mistreatment was.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not trying to defend the business. I'm just saying this is unfortunately how it is.
Yeah.
I mean, you know how many times, especially watching Hard Knocks, where a player who is fighting for a position gets injured during training camp, and they're third string, seventh round pick, undrafted, something of that nature. They get hurt. I know pregnant's
Mm-hmm.
a different story, but I'm just saying, like,
Yeah.
if something different happens that it disrupts the status quo in the
Yeah.
situation, um, it becomes a business. It doesn't become personal, which unfortunately sucks, but that's just part of it.
Yeah.
Now, do I think you probably could have kept Hamby on the roster and everything? I don't know. based on your notes, and I haven't read
Mhm.
into it enough, okay, because I'm trying to choose my words wisely here. But I don't know exactly where Hamby stood with the team before this all transpired.
She was she was a rotation player that helped in getting that championship, the first one.
Okay.
And as we showed, she got a double-double with Los Angeles
Right.
Sparks. We spoke about that. So like, and she was on the 3x3 team. So like, she's not a like so player.
She's not a so player, which is what
Yeah.
I'm saying. But we also don't know how her relationship was with the team.
But at the same time too, and if let's say if she got injured and she got traded, that's different. Teams are legally allowed to trade people for whatever reason, except for on the basis of protected status. Pregnancy is considered a protected status. So if you trade someone because they're pregnant, you are now going against the laws.
Yeah, no, and she has a right to sue on that.
So she has a right to sue on that. So to me, this kind of taints the Aces organization and kind of taints Becky Hammon, who like we are huge fans of Becky Hammon.
Huge fans of Becky Hammon. We've been proponent of her being the first female NBA coach.
Yeah, and kind of in the same way, Jeremy Miller here too. Becky really overreacted here. It's not like you didn't win the championship.
No, the Aces were the Aces.
Yeah,
they're all Aces last year.
Because basically the main thing is she's not the main reason, obviously. Like Asia's the main reason, but she was part of the
Kelsey
reason.
Plum too.
Yeah, she was part of the reason why they won their first championship. But she was pregnant during their second championship, so she wasn't playing there. And I'm sure for Becky Hammon, she counted on her being there. And then now when you have bench players that you count on to come into the game, and then they're not there to come into the game, and so then you have to count on other people that you don't think as highly of. Mm-hmm. That's probably where Becky Hammon here was in the hard spot. But at the same time, like, it wasn't her fault she got pregnant.
No.
Yeah, she got pregnant. That's what happens.
And they're supposed to be her fault, but that's a different story.
Yeah, like there's, and that's one thing that
not everyone plans on getting pregnant people. That's what I'm trying to say.
And that's one thing that I know that the Players Association has been working on. Each time that they sign new contracts with the WNBA, they're adding more protections for players, pregnancy and maternity leave being one of them. But yeah, I don't know. I don't feel right about it.
No, it's like I said, I'm just trying to go through all the parameters of it as a person, just trying to like ask questions, because a lot of times, especially for organizations that I keep up with more than WNBA, but I'm getting better at that. And especially when it comes to pregnancies, that's just a whole different can of worms in sports that we're just not used to. And I mean, and Sol and Jeremy are definitely doing. I like what their comments are there about this, is because we're just now like Sol was saying, they're just now setting up breastfeeding. Ambling Sol. But Cheryl was basically saying, they're just setting up breastfeeding areas and child-friendly places for female athletes. It's the thing is, it's now coming to the forefront, and we're hearing it a lot more because you're getting a lot more eyeballs on it. So this has probably been said a bunch, but no one gave a shit that could make a difference. Not me and Solo just sit back and watch the games. We can go on Twitter and shout out to the ethers all we want to, but we're not the ones, unfortunately, that can make a change in this. Now, granted, you can.
But now that there's more eyeballs on it,
a lot more eyeballs. There's a lot more change that's happening.
When you mistreat your players, people are gonna be like, "Oh, that's what your team's like."
Yeah.
So, and then also the other thing too is other players are going to hear about that. We already have we don't have it in our notes, but Angel Reese was trying to shoot her shot with the French girl Gabby Williams that almost tied the game, because Gabby Williams was originally played with the Chicago Sky. But she had a very bad relationship with the Chicago Sky. And she's like, "Oh, girl, I'm not coming back to that team." And Angel was just like, "Oh, those people are gone. It's much better here." And Gabby Williams like, "I'm not coming back to that team." So it's very much, there's the way these teams have treated some of these players, they're losing out on the talent of some of these players, and the talent of future players go, oh, that's how your team treats those players? I'm not playing for them. But then also you'll have other players that are like, oh, Becky Hammond's going to win a championship and I want to win a championship, so I'll play for whoever's going to get me that. So it depends on what your priorities are as a player.
Yeah, no, for sure. But yeah, no, I it's just because if it was any organization, be like, yeah, burn them at the stake, but it's Becky Hammond, so I'm just like, oh, come on. I'm not mad. I'm disappointed.
Yeah, it definitely taints her for me. So hopefully she has some growth, becomes better, as we always hope for when people do the wrong thing. But yeah, I'm not very happy with her right now.
No, and yeah, that is true about Allison Felix. Sorry, Allison Felix. As far as an organization and stuff like that, unfortunately, and also too being paid what they're worth, that's a different ball game. Because in this capitalist world, at least in the United States that we live in, it's all, unfortunately, just go watch Better Off Ted. It doesn't matter it's all about return on investment.
Yeah.
And that's all they care about.
What we've learned too is that there is return on investment and higher ROIs with women's sports. If you actually invest in it, you'll actually gain a bigger ROIs. It's just that you're not even investing at all because you don't think you're going to get those ROIs. And then the rare times that people are like, you know what, maybe we should invest, they actually end up making a lot of money because I guess everyone watches women's sports.
Right. No, like I said.
Hey, our resident lawyer's in the chat.
Yeah, if we're going to go, hey, Daniel, if you want to go back about this lawsuit and tell me what leg Hamby has to stand on, that'd be great to know on that. But yeah, no, I'm with you. Yes, once you actually invest in it, it's just the fact that no one.
Yeah.
CC is bringing. If it's bad or a good thing, I don't give a crap. She's bringing eyeballs. Angel Reese is on top of that bringing eyeballs. All it takes is a linchpin. CC is the linchpin that is bringing the eyeballs. We wouldn't be talking about Skylar Diggins kind of like speed running, if you want to even call it that, or Hurley trying to get to the bench because she really wants to hear what the coach had to say. And her hitting in CC, like the game was over, like Jeremy said. But it's now tenfold because CC is just that magnifying glass that is doing it, and I'm hoping that because of with the help of CC and other stuff, because if you haven't noticed, the ratings for the Olympics were out the nozzle. It was ridiculous.
The women's final, you talked about it last week.
The 100. The women's final, and then like the men's, even the men's basketball never got the rating that they did at the Olympics. I'll put that because they had 22 million people watching that France, and then the female one was like 14, so 13 or 14.
Yeah, and we're seeing too, just across the board, too, gymnastics because of Simone Biles.
Yeah,
their rating was
Simone
crazy.
Biles,
Katie Ledecky,
Sha'Carri
Richardson. So like women are bringing eyeballs to these sports. Men
Trinity Rodman. Yeah, I can't go out without talking about her.
Hey, we'll talk about her later.
Is this not Rev? Wrap it up, and I'm on the screen. Like you definitely know I'm going to talk about Trinity.
I added a special thing to our notes for you because I was just like, oh, Josh is going to like this.
Yeah.
But we should probably wrap up our basketball talk and go on to novelty acts.